Welcome, football enthusiasts, to this deep dive into the fascinating trajectory of Moroccan football, a nation that captured the global imagination and continues to redefine its destiny on the grandest stage of the world's most beautiful game. Firstly, the Doha miracle and the birth of a new era. The echoes of Morocco's breathtaking campaign during the 2022 World Cup in Qatar still resonate vividly within the hearts of football fans across the globe. During that historic winter, the Atlas Lions shattered the glass ceiling of international football, distinguishing themselves as the inaugural African and Arab nation to ever secure a spot in a World Cup semi-final. Their journey through the knockout phase was nothing short of cinematic. It began with an intense, nerve-wracking triumph over Spain, settled via a dramatic penalty shootout that sent shockwaves through the sporting world. They followed that historic masterclass by overcoming Portugal with a disciplined 1-0 victory in the quarterfinals, an achievement that reverberated globally and solidified their status as giant killers. It felt as though the entire African continent, the Arab world, and neutral fans worldwide collectively held their breath as this remarkable squad rewrote the history books in Doha. The pure euphoria and unyielding conviction birthed during those unforgettable nights set an entirely new benchmark for the nation. Consequently, it transformed public perception, shifting the narrative from hopeful participation to an absolute expectation that Morocco can and should replicate such magic. For the first time in the tournament's near century of existence, an African nation stood proudly among the final four contenders. The cornerstone of that unforgettable 2022 run was an ironclad, uncompromising tactical identity. Statistically, the Atlas Lions were completely comfortable without the ball, routinely registering under 40% possession in their fixtures. However, what they surrendered in terms of midfield control, they more than compensated for with defensive masterclasses and lightning-quick counter-offensives. The squad exhibited a profound level of tactical discipline, perfectly content to yield territory and possession to their opponents. Against Spain in the round of 16, they allowed their European counterparts to hog a staggering 77% of the ball. Similarly, against Portugal, while the opposition dominated the possession metrics, Morocco consistently appeared to be the more threatening side, poised to exploit vacant spaces the moment they intercepted the ball. Immense credit must be directed toward their tactician at the time, Walid Regragui. He masterfully recalibrated his defensive unit despite facing significant adversity, including the absence of high-profile figures such as Bayern Munich's versatile defender. Regragui seamlessly integrated alternative options into his backline without compromising the team's core defensive integrity. They remained the same resolute, unshakable Moroccan side. Their path to the semifinals was arguably the most grueling in the tournament. They successfully navigated a treacherous group stage featuring seasoned heavyweights Croatia and Belgium, alongside a highly unpredictable Canadian side, before eliminating Spain and Portugal back-to-back. One could scarcely script a more challenging route to footballing immortality. The cultural impact of that campaign transcends mere statistics. Decades from now, children who witnessed that magical run will recall growing up and falling completely in love with the sport because of the 2022 Atlas Lions. Many global fans who previously knew very little about the team, or even the country itself, found themselves captivated by their style of play. Through their passion and grit, Morocco converted millions of neutral observers into lifelong supporters, fundamentally altering the global perception of Moroccan and regional football, showcasing its spectacular rise on the international stage. Also in the pillars of modern Moroccan football, Morocco's formidable defensive philosophy begins at the base of the pitch, and very few individuals personify this ethos better than Achraf Hakimi. The 27-year-old right-back infuses the squad with explosive velocity, relentless intensity, and ceaseless off-the-ball movement, asserting his influence heavily in both the defensive and attacking phases. His offensive prowess was on full display during Paris Saint-Germain's 2024-25 Champions League campaign, where Hakimi racked up an astonishing 4 goals and 5 assists, outperforming every other defender in the tournament in terms of direct goal involvements. His stellar trajectory carried over seamlessly into the 2025-26 season, prompting many analysts to argue that his performances are of a Ballon d'Or caliber. Within Morocco, there is a genuine, widespread belief that he truly merits football's most prestigious individual accolade, and realistically, that assertion is not far-fetched. Hakimi operates with the attacking instinct of an elite winger, and his numbers firmly establish him not merely as one of the preeminent fullbacks on the planet, but as one of the finest footballers overall. There is a consensus that the ceiling remains incredibly high for Hakimi, whether his future lies in Paris with the national team or at another elite European club. Observers eagerly anticipate how his tactical profile will continue to evolve. Given his boundless stamina and extraordinary engine, there is ongoing speculation that he could eventually transition into an advanced midfield role if deployed ahead of a traditional defensive fullback, liberating him from heavy defensive duties and allowing his creative instincts to flourish completely. Operating alongside him in the international setup is Naif Agurd, a defender who provides structural steel, dominates aerial duels, thrives in physical challenges, and possesses the technical composure required to progress the ball directly into midfield when the situation demands it. Positioned just ahead of the backline is Sofiane Amrabat, the tireless, combative defensive midfielder who served as the emotional and physical heartbeat of the Qatar 2022 campaign. Partnering with him in the engine room is Azzedine Ounahi, the team's primary progressive ball carrier. The 25-year-old moves across the pitch with elegant composure, driving his side forward into enemy territory and serving as the crucial link between defensive recovery and attacking transitions. Together, this duo constructs a midfield powerhouse that seemingly never stops running. Ultimately, two distinct attributes elevate Morocco above many of their contemporaries: the immense pride and unbridled passion exhibited by the players whenever they don the national colors, mirroring the elite mentality seen in traditional footballing superpowers, and their profound squad depth. Up front, they boast formidable options like Youssouf En-Nesyri and Ayoub El Kaabi, the latter of whom has tasted European glory and continues to see his stock rise exponentially. El Kaabi famously displayed his elite mentality by approaching his manager to firmly declare his readiness to spearhead the front line as the nation's premier number 9. His club credentials back up his confidence completely. Having netted 75 goals for Olympiacos, including a remarkable 23 goals in European competitions alone, he has firmly established himself as a rising international star. Tom Shakhtranen Tranchural Revolution and the road to 2026. To truly appreciate Morocco's contemporary success, one must contrast it with the dark ages of the recent past. From 2002 to 2014, the national team structure was mired in chaos. The domestic league lacked organization, and Moroccan football as a whole seemed devoid of an overarching identity or long-term vision. However, the last several years have witnessed a radical transformation. A state-of-the-art infrastructural revolution, highlighted by the development of world-class youth academies across the nation, has successfully nurtured homegrown talent. Furthermore, stadium infrastructures are undergoing continuous upgrades and expansions as the nation prepares to co-host the prestigious 2030 World Cup. This holistic approach has significantly elevated the quality of the domestic game and boosted the prospects emerging within the borders. Simultaneously, the Moroccan Football Federation has masterfully integrated dual nationality players who chose to represent their ancestral homeland, a strategy that has added elite tactical variance and depth to the squad. All of these coordinated efforts culminated in the historic semi-final appearance in Qatar. Yet, despite that global peak, subsequent continental campaigns in the Africa Cup of Nations, AFCON, saw the team conspicuously underperform. It is precisely this juxtaposition between global excellence and continental disappointment that renders 2026 the most critical and defining year in the modern history of Moroccan football. Further up the pitch, the creative keys are held by Brahim Diaz, the virtuoso capable of picking the lock of the most stubborn defensive blocks. The 27-year-old attacking midfielder possesses lethal one-on-one dribbling capabilities and envisions passing lanes that remain invisible to ordinary players, injecting a distinct layer of star quality into the final third. On the opposing flank, Soufiane Rahimi acts as a dynamic lightning bolt. He is absolutely relentless in his dribbling, remarkably composed in front of goal, and a recurring nightmare for defenders operating in open territory. Target man Youssouf En-Nesyri remains the archetypal focal point of the attack, a player capable of winning matches single-handedly through his clinical finishing and trademark aerial dominance, often converting crosses with bullet headers. Adding to this potent mix is the teenage sensation, 19-year-old Shola Shartire / youth prospect, like teenage winger, alluded to via Talbi's breakthrough, who has burst onto the scene with dazzling dribbling skills, precise crossing, and an insatiable appetite to win individual duels, even proving his mettle by scoring spectacular goals against top-tier opposition on the big stage. However, a massive tactical curveball shook the foundations of the national team on March 5, 2026, less than 100 days before the kickoff of the World Cup. Following a painful and disappointing defeat in the 2025 Africa Cup of Nations final, where Senegal ultimately secured a sensational victory to claim the continental crown, Walid Regragui parted ways with the national team. In a bold and highly debated move, the Moroccan Federation appointed Mohamed Ouabi as his successor. Ouabi had just etched his name into folklore by guiding Morocco's under-20 squad to the country's first ever world title at any youth level. Despite this monumental achievement, this role marks Ouabi's very first venture into senior-level management. The 49-year-old tactician, who spent the vast majority of his coaching career molding elite youth talent, issued a crystal-clear, unambiguous message upon his introduction. "I am not here to rebuild because the foundations are already firmly established. I am here to sustain and deliver elite performances." Analysts remain divided on this sudden managerial transition. Many believe Ouaheb is the ideal candidate to integrate the next generation of youth champions into the senior setup and improve the team's fluid build-up play. Given the incredibly short preparation window, public consensus suggests there should not be immense, overwhelming pressure placed on his shoulders during this summer's tournament. Nevertheless, because the Federation chose to execute such a drastic, high-stakes managerial change right before the tournament, expectations naturally remain sky-high. Fans and pundits expect sharp tactical execution, astute in-game substitutions, and a seamless structural transition that avoids radical deviations from the successful system established over the last few years. The burning question remains: can the Atlas Lions capture lightning in a bottle once again? The fundamental ingredients for a deep tournament run are undeniable: highly experienced elite leaders, a proven and battle-tested defensive system, and 4 years of collective growth and maturity since their exploits in Qatar. Conversely, introducing a new head coach with zero senior-level international management experience less than 3 months prior to the opening whistle introduces a massive variable of unpredictability. Furthermore, a daunting challenge awaits them in Group C, where an opening match against the formidable powerhouse Brazil will immediately test this squad's resolve and tactical adaptability from day one. Morocco possesses every logical reason to approach the tournament with supreme confidence. Whether that inner belief translates into another historic, groundbreaking journey, or whether the unforgettable 2022 semi-final remains the absolute zenith of this golden generation, is a question that can only be answered on the pitch. One reality, however, remains absolutely certain: no opponent on earth will ever make the mistake of taking the Atlas Lions lightly again. Thank you so much for watching and engaging with our analysis today. Your incredible support is what drives us to deliver deep insights into the beautiful game. To spark some discussion in the comments section below, do you believe appointing a youth-decorated manager like Mohamed Ouabi less than 100 days before the World Cup is a stroke of genius that will modernize Morocco's attack? Or has the Federation jeopardized their defensive stability just when they needed it most against